Good morning, everyone. Let me ask you something. Have you ever tried to walk forward while looking backward? It's awkward, isn't it? You stumble, you hesitate, and sometimes you even fall. But here's the catch. So many of us live our lives this way. We hold on to past mistakes, grudges, and failures, thinking they define who we are. And in doing so, we rob ourselves of the future we could create. Today, I want to talk about something powerful, the art of letting go. Letting go isn't about forgetting or pretending something never happened. It's about making a conscious choice to release what no longer serves you so you can move forward with clarity and purpose. So before we dive in, I want you to think about this question. What are you still holding on to that's holding you back? Because the key to a better tomorrow often lies in the courage to let go of yesterday. Would you like me to expand on any specific point? Acknowledging the past is a crucial step in moving forward, yet it can often feel like the hardest part of the journey. It requires us to confront the reality of what has happened, no matter how painful, without sugarcoating or denying it. This process is not about dwelling on the past or wallowing in regret. Rather, it is about giving yourself the permission to fully see and feel the truth of your experiences. You are allowed to make mistakes, learn from them, and learn from the lessons that result in the growth and success in life and work. Many people struggle with this because they equate acknowledgement with weakness or failure. They fear that accepting the past means they condone the hurt they experienced or caused. But in truth, acknowledgement is a sign of strength. It means you are brave enough to face reality as it is, not as you wish it were. Denial, on the other hand, keeps us stuck. It locks us into cycles of avoidance, replaying old wounds in our minds, or building walls around our emotions to avoid feeling the pain. When you acknowledge the past, you're not assigning blame or excusing anyone's actions, including your own. Instead, you're recognizing the events, choices, and outcomes as they were. It's about looking at the full picture without distortion, neither magnifying the hurt nor minimizing it. This honest confrontation helps you process the emotions tied to those events, allowing you to understand how they shaped your beliefs, behaviors, and outlook on life. In order to leverage, you must understand how your habits and behaviors and outlook on life. By accepting what has happened, you take the first step toward freeing yourself from its hold. The energy spent resisting the truth can now be redirected toward healing and growth. You create space within yourself to build something new, no longer shackled by the weight of what was, but instead grounded in the clarity of what is. The weight of holding on. Understanding how unresolved baggage limits growth. Holding on to unresolved emotions, grudges, or past failures can feel like carrying an invisible weight. This weight may not always be evident, but over time, it subtly drains your energy, clouds your judgment, and limits your ability to grow. When we hold on to what no longer serves us, we create barriers to the future we deserve. Unresolved baggage often manifests in various ways. Constant overthinking, lingering resentment, or a reluctance to take risks due to fear of failure. It's as if we're tethered to the past, unable to move freely because we're too focused on what went wrong. This emotional weight can influence every aspect of life, from relationships to career decisions, as it skews our perspective and keeps us in a cycle of repetition. The biggest challenge with holding on is that it often feels like a form of control. We believe that replaying past events or clinging to old narratives will somehow protect us from further harm. However, the truth is the opposite. Holding on keeps us stuck, unable to embrace new opportunities because we're too busy carrying yesterday's burdens, right? Growth requires space, space to think, to dream, and to explore possibilities. When our minds and hearts are crowded with unresolved emotions, there's little room left for anything new. Letting go of this weight doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing what happened. It means recognizing its impact, learning from it, and choosing not to let it define your future. By releasing the grip of the past, you allow yourself to fully step into the present. Only then can you make decisions that align with who you are today and who you want to become, free from the constraints of what once held you back. Forgiveness is freedom, letting go of resentment to reclaim inner peace. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as a gift we give to others, but its greatest impact lies within ourselves. Holding on to resentment, anger, or grudges creates a cycle of pain that primarily affects the one holding on. It's like drinking poison and expecting someone else to suffer. True forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions or forgetting the harm caused. It's about choosing to release the emotional grip those actions have on you. Resentment acts like a heavy anchor, tethering us to past events and emotions. The longer we hold on, the more it consumes our energy and focus. This emotional weight doesn't just affect our mental state, it seeps into our physical health, relationships, and overall well-being. It prevents us from being fully present and keeps us trapped in the narratives of what could or should have been. Forgiveness offers a pathway to freedom by allowing us to reclaim control over our emotions and inner peace. It begins with a shift in perspective, recognizing that forgiveness is not about the other person or excusing their behavior. It's a decision to free yourself from the burden of bitterness and the endless cycle of reliving the hurt. This process may not be immediate or easy. It often involves confronting deep wounds and working through the pain with honesty and compassion for yourself. But as you release the resentment, you begin to make space for healing and joy. Forgiveness empowers you to detach from the past and focus on the present and future. Ultimately, forgiveness is one of the most liberating choices you can make. It's not a sign of weakness, but a profound act of strength, allowing you to break free from the chains of resentment and embrace the peace you deserve. Shifting your focus, turning energy from what was to what can be. When we dwell on the past, our energy becomes fixated on things we can no longer change, what went wrong, what we lost, or what we could have done differently. This mental loop not only keeps us stuck, but also blinds us to the possibilities that lie ahead. To move forward, we must consciously shift our focus from what was to what can be. This shift begins with recognizing how much time and emotional energy is spent on reliving old stories. While reflection has its place, excessive focus on the past traps us in a cycle of regret and blame. By contrast, directing our attention toward the future opens up new pathways for growth and reinvention. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" we can ask, "What can I create from this?" Shifting focus doesn't mean ignoring or suppressing the past. It means reframing it. Challenges, failures, and setbacks are not endpoints. but stepping stones. They offer valuable lessons and insights that can inform our next steps. By looking forward, we give ourselves permission to transform those lessons into opportunities for growth, rather than using them as reasons to hold ourselves back. It also involves cultivating a mindset of curiosity and possibility. What would your life look like if you directed the same energy spent on past regrets into pursuing new goals, building new relationships, or embracing new experiences? This shift requires practice, but the more you focus on potential, the less power the past holds over you. By choosing to shift your focus, you take back control of your narrative. You begin to see the future not as something to fear, but as a blank canvas filled with potential, a space where you can create something better, brighter, and uniquely yours. The power of choice, realizing you control what to release and what to keep. Life is filled with events and experiences, some of which shape us in ways we never anticipated. While we cannot always control what happens to us, we hold immense power in how we respond. This power lies in choice, the ability to decide what we carry forward and what we leave behind. Many people underestimate the influence of their choices in shaping their lives. They feel stuck, as though their circumstances or past define them. But the truth is, every day offers an opportunity to choose. You can choose to release the pain, anger, and negativity that weigh you down, or you can continue to let them dictate your actions and emotions. Similarly, you can choose to keep the lessons, wisdom, and resilience you've gained through your experiences. The power of choice means taking responsibility for your emotional and mental well-being. It's about recognizing that holding on to something, whether it's a grudge, regret, or self-doubt, is a decision you make. And with that realization comes the empowering truth: you can make a different choice. You are not bound by the past unless you choose to be. Making these choices requires self-awareness and intentionality. It means asking yourself hard questions. Does holding on to this serve me? Is it helping me grow or keeping me stuck? Once you have clarity, you can take deliberate steps to let go of what no longer serves you and nurture what does. Think about your career goals and life plan. Can you start shifting your priorities so you're better suited to what no longer serves you and nurture what does? Every choice you make creates a ripple effect in your life. Choosing to release negativity and embrace what empowers you sets the stage for a future built on strength and possibility. It's a powerful reminder that no matter what happens, you always have the ability to shape your path forward. Today, redefining identity, moving past labels tied to past experiences. Our sense of identity is often shaped by our experiences, both positive and negative. Over time, we begin to associate ourselves with certain labels. Some we choose, and others are imposed on us by circumstances or people. These labels can become so deeply ingrained that we start believing they define who we are. But when those labels are tied to past pain, failures, or limitations, they can trap us in a version of ourselves that no longer serves us. Moving forward requires redefining your identity and breaking free from the constraints of those old labels. It starts with recognizing that you are not your past experiences. You may have failed, but you are not a failure. You may have made mistakes, but you are not defined by them. This distinction is crucial because it shifts your perspective from being to becoming, from seeing yourself as a fixed entity to embracing the idea that you are constantly evolving. And then redefining identity involves self-reflection and intentionality. Ask yourself, who am I beyond the labels I've been carrying? What qualities, values, and aspirations truly define me? This process helps you uncover a deeper sense of self that is rooted in your potential rather than your past. The deeper identity of self is rooted within your potential rather than your past. It also means letting go of external validation. Many labels are a reflection of how others perceive us, not who we truly are. By releasing the need to fit into those molds, you create the freedom to define yourself on your own terms. As you move past these labels, you open the door to new possibilities. You're no longer confined by what others expect or by the limitations you once believed about yourself. Instead, you step into a more authentic, empowered version of who you are and who you are becoming. Mindset reset, embracing change as an opportunity, not a threat. Our mindset is the lens through which we interpret the world, and it has a powerful influence on how we respond to change. For many, change triggers fear, discomfort, and resistance because it represents the unknown. It disrupts our routines, challenges our sense of control, and forces us out of our comfort zones. However, when we shift our mindset, we can begin to see change not as a threat, but as an opportunity for growth and renewal. This mindset reset starts with reframing how we perceive change. Instead of viewing it as something to fear, we can see it as a natural and necessary part of life. Every significant breakthrough, whether personal, professional, or emotional, comes on the other side of change. It's often through discomfort and uncertainty that we discover our resilience, adaptability, and untapped potential. A growth mindset is key to embracing change. This mindset acknowledges that challenges are not roadblocks, but stepping stones, and that failure is not the end, but a valuable teacher. By focusing on what can be learned or gained from each experience, you transform change into a catalyst for progress rather than a source of anxiety. Resetting your mindset also involves letting go of the need for perfection or predictability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and clinging to rigid expectations only increases stress. Instead, cultivating flexibility and openness allows you to adapt and thrive in the face of uncertainty. Ultimately, embracing change is about building emotional resilience, learning to navigate challenges without clinging. Emotional resilience is the ability to adapt and recover in the face of adversity. It's not about avoiding challenges, but about equipping yourself to handle them with strength and balance. At the heart of resilience is the capacity to navigate difficulties without clinging to the emotions or experiences that arise, allowing you to process them and move forward. When we encounter challenges, it's natural to feel overwhelmed or weighed down by the emotions they bring, whether it's sadness, anger, fear, or frustration. However, clinging to these emotions can turn temporary struggles into long-term burdens. Emotional resilience involves acknowledging and experiencing your feelings without letting them define you or dictate your actions. Developing resilience begins with self-awareness. Understanding your emotional triggers and how you typically respond to stress allows you to approach challenges more thoughtfully. It's about pausing in the moment, recognizing what you're feeling, and choosing how to respond, rather than reacting impulsively or holding onto negative emotions. Another key aspect is reframing setbacks as opportunities for growth. Every challenge carries a lesson, and by focusing on what you can learn or how you can grow, you shift your energy from dwelling on the problem to seeking solutions. This proactive approach strengthens your confidence in your ability to handle future difficulties. Resilience also involves cultivating a support system and healthy coping mechanisms. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and encourage you, practicing mindfulness, and engaging in activities that bring you joy all contribute to your emotional well-being. By building resilience, you empower yourself to face life's uncertainties with courage and grace. Instead of being consumed by challenges, you learn to navigate through them, emerging stronger and more capable on the other side. Trusting the process, believing that letting go opens the door to something better. Trusting the process is about having faith in the journey, even when the destination is unclear. It's the belief that by letting go of what no longer serves you, you create space for new opportunities, growth, and transformation. This trust doesn't come from knowing exactly what will happen next, but from understanding that each step forward, no matter how uncertain, contributes to a bigger picture that is unfolding. When we let go, we often feel a sense of vulnerability, as if we're releasing control over our lives. This can be unsettling, especially when we've spent so much time clinging to familiar patterns, relationships, or expectations. However, true progress comes from trusting that the process of letting go is necessary for growth. By surrendering old attachments, we make room for new possibilities, even when we can't see them right away. Trusting the process also requires patience. Often, the most significant changes take time to manifest. It's easy to become discouraged when results don't come immediately, but by maintaining faith in the journey, we avoid the temptation to rush or force outcomes. Instead, we allow things to unfold naturally, knowing that every experience is shaping us for what's to come. Believing that letting go opens the door to something better means accepting uncertainty as part of the journey. It's about knowing that we don't always need to have all the answers, and that sometimes the best things come when we release the need for control. Trusting the process is an act of courage, a decision to embrace the unknown with the belief that something greater is waiting on the other side. Living forward, aligning your actions with the future you want to create. Living forward is about making deliberate choices that align with the person you are becoming, rather than staying anchored in past experiences or fears. It's the conscious decision to move beyond the patterns and limitations that once defined you and focus on the future you wish to create. To live forward, you must be intentional in your actions. This requires a clear vision of where you want to go and a commitment to taking consistent steps in that direction. Every choice, no matter how small, contributes to building the future you desire. It's about understanding that your actions today are laying the foundation for tomorrow. This mindset shift involves letting go of the inertia that can come from living in the past. Many people feel stuck because they're too focused on what has already happened. They carry unresolved emotions or outdated beliefs that influence their decisions and actions. But living forward means releasing the need to dwell on the past or worry about the future. It's about making the most of the present moment and taking proactive steps to build the life you want. Living forward also requires resilience and adaptability. The future is rarely predictable, and there will be challenges along the way. But when you focus on moving forward, you embrace the process of growth and change, knowing that each step brings you closer to your vision. Ultimately, living forward is about aligning your actions, mindset, and energy with your future self. It's a reminder that you have the power to create the life you want, and that every decision you make today shapes the reality you will experience tomorrow. Though, in conclusion, letting go is not a single moment of release, but a continuous journey of growth and transformation. It's a choice to move beyond the limitations of the past, to embrace change, and to align your actions with the future you want to create. Through acknowledging the past, shifting your focus, and trusting the process, you make space for new possibilities to emerge. By developing your vision of the future, the goals and aspirations, and trusting the process, you make space for new possibilities to emerge. By building emotional resilience, redefining your identity, and recognizing the power of choice, you empower yourself to move forward with purpose and confidence. Remember, the key to moving forward is not about forgetting where you've been, but about choosing to release what no longer serves you so that you can step into a brighter, more fulfilling future. The road ahead may not always be easy, but it is filled with endless potential. The decision is yours. Will you hold on to what has been, or will you let go to create what can be? The future is waiting for you, ready to be shaped by the choices you make today.